Hi, my name is Steve Ide, Artistic Director of Mansfield's Rose Garden Coffee House. We have a very exciting show coming up on Saturday, October 20th, a split bill featuring two top-notch singer-songwriters, Lisa Bastoni and Grace Morrison. Lisa has just gone back into the studio to record a new album and is riding high on the success of her latest CD called The Wishing Hour. Lisa, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
I understand you took a 10-year break from performing to start a family, but now you're back with a fury.
Yes.
And speaking of family, I was noticing your guitar that you're playing, and you mentioned that it comes from your grandmother. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents growing up, and my grandmother started giving me guitar lessons when I was 13. And this is my grandmother's guitar, which I inherited a couple of years ago when she passed away. And my favorite thing about it, other than the fact that it's just a beautiful guitar, it has her handprint on the top of it from where she would sit waiting for her turn in song circles with her friends. So this is a treasure to me.
And it has a really percussive sound, but it also has a very bright sound for finger picking.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to fit well with your style of music. Does that work for you?
It's working for me so far, I think. Yeah, I'm just happy to have it. Yeah.
Would you be willing to play us a song?
Sure, I'd be glad to.
Let's hear that.
Thanks.
This could be Kansas in the middle of August with the sunflowers and the heat. The yard sale signs, bathtub Jesus. I am looking for redemption on these dusty streets. We could go this way, we could go that way. It makes no difference now. Keep holding on as long as you can with your head in the stars and your hands on the plow. And my thoughts return to that night in Wichita. We had the lonesome pool hall blues. The sun came up and we headed home. We had matching bird tattoos. We could go this way, we could go that way. It makes no difference now. Keep holding on as long as you can with your head in the stars and your hands on the plow. And we were all broken dreamers, singing from town to town till it was time to settle down. Oh, it was time to settle down. This could be heaven, even without you, though it's hard to admit sometimes. I see morning glories climbing chain-linked fences, always reaching for the sky. We could go this way, we could go that way. It makes no difference now. Keep holding on as long as you can with your head in the stars and your hands on the plow.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
That song was great. Your songs have been described as Americana, and they seem to touch on themes looking back on old times, creating images of America or suburbia. Where do you think you get your ideas for your songs? How do they come about?
I usually start with making a lot of lists, just free association or writing out a narrative of the story that I'm planning to tell in the song, and then I go through my notes and kind of pull the things that seem most relevant or most effective in telling the story. So a lot of it is pretty personal, and it comes from my own experience.
So they're true stories in some cases.
I wish I wish they weren't, but they are. Yeah,
They
pretty
are.
much.
Okay.
Yeah, with
And-
some embellishment, I would say.
Some creative license, as it
Yes.
were. Okay. All right. Would you play us another song?
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Great to have you.
Last night I heard the humming of the moon behind the trees. I felt the warmth of California riding on the breeze, and I thought of you for the first time in what felt like centuries. And I don't even have your number now, but even if I did, and though I knew it by heart, back when we were kids, if I had any feelings left for you, I'd keep them hid, 'cause I moved on and on and on. There'll be no walk down memory lane. There'll be no midnight call for old time's sake, and I am not slipping down that rabbit hole again. Were we singing in the streets somewhere in Spain? Were we laughing in the hotel shower, running out of change? If that was really you and me, I don't know, I couldn't say. And don't you think that's strange? And the last time at the airport you had your dark sunglasses on, I flew home to my mother's house, and I wrote you a song, and then I picked myself up, caught a bus back to Boston, and I moved on and on and on. There'll be no walk down memory lane. There'll be no midnight call for old time's sake, and I am not slipping down that rabbit hole again. And if by chance you cross my mind, it's only by mistake. It's like that old jean jacket that you lost in the lake. We couldn't see it at the bottom. We might assume that it's still there. Either way, I'm sure by now you got yourself a new coat to wear. But oh, how I loved you with an unprotected heart, and how you blew it wide open when you busted it apart. That was the best thing that you did. I can see that now. All I know is I moved on, although I don't remember how. There'll be no walk down memory lane. There'll be no midnight call for old time's sake, and I am not slipping down that rabbit hole again.
Joining us now is Grace Morrison. Grace, thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Grace, your songs vary from the lighthearted to the serious, and you sing several songs about the effects of war on a grand scale. But they have a personal connection, a very personal connection. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, I've always been super interested in history, but mostly trying to put myself in the perspective of whomever I was reading about. And my grandfather was on Normandy Beach on D-Day.
Oh, wow.
And but growing up, he was not a man that ever talked. Like I remember very few things that he would say, and so it just got me thinking. You know, he clearly had emotional trauma from war, which affected my mother, which affected me. You know, and I saw, so for me, that particular subject, I was thinking about how many generations does it affect? And with any sort of human atrocity, I mean, it just trickles down.
Absolutely.
So that's generally how I view history and songwriting.
And so some of your songs focus on that. Can you play us a song?
Absolutely.
Tell me another story about him. I wanna know why. The stories pile up like rocks in the river, and I need another reason to try. Give me another reason to leave you. I'm sure you could try. The leaves pile up like seasons of doubt, and I don't need another reason to cry. It's all love breaking, our life coming down. It's been seasons in the making, and the me that's left behind is proud. These arms that I'm holding around you, don't wanna get too close. You smell like you've been swimming in the river with some other sad broken ghost. I'm feeling like a man in the shadows, just watching it all. I held you up, picked up your pieces, but now I'm gonna let you fall. It's our love breaking, our life coming down. It's been seasons in the making, and the me that's left behind is proud. Tell me another story about him. I wanna know why he's going down this river you found, and I don't think you should stay dry.
Thank you. So, despite your songs, some taking on some serious topics, they can also be on the more lighthearted side. And I know that you keep your audiences smiling. You seem to have a lot to smile about lately.
I do.
So, how are things going with your life and your career?
Really great, actually. I've kind of been making a transition from playing bar gigs, which has been most of my career, these 3-hour bar gigs where nobody listens, to finally having concerts like this one where people are paying to come and listen and want to hear things that I've written, and laugh at my jokes, which is
Awesome.
my priority.
Sure. Okay. Well, would you mind playing us another song?
Let's do it.
Okay. Thanks.
May God bless you and send you an angel. I'll be looking down from my home. Remember, I always loved you. When the world quits playing ball and starts throwing stones, it's a long, long way to Tipperary. I see setting suns and you see the dawn. Sometimes I look through your window till I see the lights start turning on. May God bless you and send you an angel. I'll be looking down from my home. Remember, I always loved you. When the world quits playing ball and starts throwing stones, I walked away from heavy doorways. I've walked away from painful tears. I found my garden in your eyes, love. You were my hope and peace throughout the years. May God bless you and send you an angel. I'll be looking down from my home. Remember, I always loved you. When the world quits playing ball and starts throwing stones, I am your constellation, holds me near. I only hope you know you are my dear. It's a long, long way to Tipperary. I see setting suns and you see the dawn. I found my garden in your eyes, love. Please know my heart ain't gone. May God bless you and send you an angel. I'll be looking down from my home. Remember, I always loved you. When the world quits playing ball and starts throwing stones, when the world quits playing ball and starts throwing stones, when the world quits playing ball and starts throwing stones.
The Rose Garden is a nonprofit coffee house held at the Congregational Church, 17 West Street on Mansfield's South Common. The doors open at 7:30. Come on down to Saturday's show on October 20th and then join us for the rest of our 30th season.